To highlight how I think this can possibly be achieved, let me outline 9 imperatives to achieve harmony among civilizations. If you ask me, why 9? Well, it is a bit personal because 9 is always my lucky numbers. Let me now outline these imperatives. The first imperative is to make the 21st century the century of soft power. Remember, the 20th century was the century of hard power. We saw 2 world wars, several major wars and proxy wars, and a long Cold War with risk nuclear holocaust. One estimate suggests that some 180 million people died in the wars and conflict of the last century. It is no wonder that the 20th century has been called the age of conflict. It has been the bloodiest century in memory. In contrast, the 21st century should and must be the century of soft power. But there exists a large soft power deficit that the world civilization must fill. I believe that this class of civilization is actually a class of ignorance. We are weakest when we are alone. We are strongest when we join forces with one another. There are many examples of this power of exchange and connectivity. In the 13th century, the Islamic civilization was the most sophisticated in the world because it had an enormous and indiscriminate thirst for knowledge and science, learning from all corners of the world. And this body of scientific knowledge from the Muslim world was later utilized by Western Renaissance. Civilizations have weighed on each other's knowledge and become enriched by them. We have done the same in Indonesia, where we have built on our exposure to Eastern, Islamic, and Western influences, culminating in the open, pluralistic, and tolerant society that we are today. In short, the cross-fertilizations of cultures can produce something wonderful, something good. The more we exchange cultures and share ideas, the more we learn from one another, the more we cooperate and spread goodwill, the more we project soft power and place it right at the heart of international relations, the closer we are to world peace. Experience has taught me that soft power is an effective weapon against conflict. Just ask the people of Aceh, Indonesia. For 30 years, Aceh was rife with violence. Successive Indonesian governments opted for a rigid military solution because a settlement seemed so elusive. When I assumed the presidency, I pursued new approach, one defined by goodwill and trust building. I offered the separatists a win-win formula, promising them peace with dignity. Remarkably, we reached a permanent peace settlement in just 5 short rounds of negotiation. The peace agreement was fully in line with my objective to defend our sovereignty and territorial integrity, but in a civilized and democratic way. That was when my faith in soft power multiplied and why I believe it holds the key to resolving many global problems. The second imperative is to intensify the process of dialogue and outreach that now seems to be proliferating. We have seen many good initiatives. In 2001, the United Nations began the dialogue among civilizations. Spain and Turkey later launched the Alliance of Civilization. The Asia-Europe meeting, ASEM, also took up interfaith dialogue. Recently, Saudi Arabia convened the Interfaith Conference at the United Nations. Indonesia and Norway also launched, since 2006, the Global Intermediate Dialogue in the aftermath of the Khartoum crisis. All this represent a fresh approach to link civilization and religions.